everyone, I'm Dana Howell, and welcome back to the third episode of We Are Leadership. Today I'm welcomed by our first set of AIA heads, and I'm joined by Kam and Fatimata, the co-heads of Circle of Sisters, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit more about themselves before we get into questions. So, whoever wants to start us off, go ahead.
I'm Fatimata, and I'm a junior.
My name is Kam, and I'm also a junior.
So, you both lead Circle of Sisters, which is our space on campus for women of color, hosting both students and faculty. So before we get into it, I just want to ask, how did you get here? I mean, both of you took over this position very suddenly coming into August student leadership training. So how do you think you all got to the position that you are now, and what inspired you to take over Circle of Sisters?
I think for me, as I came in as a freshman, I met this very strong leader who had Circle of Sisters first when it was first introduced to me, Taylor. I think she was a really good role model for me, and I was able to grow and learn about spaces like this and opportunities that we have on campus that I think can help us grow, especially as women of color, because it's not always a safe society. And it became a really safe space for me, and I was able to develop into what it means and what Circle of Sisters is, and all these adults who are there for me to support me, and the students that can be my friends, and I can learn from them and grow, and we can all have this comfortable space, and I wanted to take that upon myself.
For me, I think that affinity spaces became a space for me to meet people, not just people people in my grade, but people like seniors. Taylor, like Kam was saying, I met a lot of really great people, Taylor, Gabby, Soraya, and they became like older sisters to me, and I feel like those affinity spaces really gave me like a way to connect with those people, to get out of my comfort zone, and also being at a school where a PWI, I like to have spaces where it's just people who look like me, people who have gone through similar experiences as me, where we can just talk about being here and our experiences being here and have like a support system.
Yeah.
So when Gabby left, I really wanted to be someone who provided a comfortable space for other students of color who came to this school. Even if it was just like having meetings where we could just talk or play Uno, I wanted to have a space where we felt comfortable coming to.
Yeah. I think attending Circle of Sisters this year, Circle of Sisters, like, believe it or not, before I started going to BSU, I only went to Circle of Sisters. And I think it was just because it was such a large space, but it's always been so impactful, even though I think when I first got here, it wasn't like in the light as much as you two have put it out there with your creative emails, your raps and stuff like that. And I think that another thing on top of that was that I got to see this transformation where we prioritize self-care, which I think women of color don't get the opportunity to, and I think you all have done a lot of that. So can you tell us more about your idea of centering Circle of Sisters this year around self-care and mental health and things like that?
I think we're in a time in society where things can be a little scary in the world. I know there's a lot of things going around with the whole like political world and how it might feel not as nice, and especially becoming a junior this year, a lot of stress with college and what that means in the political world too, and not just outside of that. I think most importantly, especially as a woman of color in this world and being young too, having that safe space and that time to dedicate to yourself outside of homework and taking care of the people around you in the space too is also extremely helpful, and I think it's a necessity in our daily lives.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think that because we are friends with a lot of people, we talk to a lot of people who come to our meeting outside of just like our meeting space. We try to gauge how everybody's feeling, or at least we hear about it because those are our friends. And oftentimes when we have our self-care meetings, we notice that a lot of people in our group are feeling down, have a lot of work to do, whether it's college, whether it's something else going on in the world, and they feel like they need a place to release or just a place where they can like come and talk about something else. We try to provide a space where anyone can feel comfortable coming to. And our self-care meetings, we try to do that often because I feel like it's not something that we often talk about because we have like such busy schedules, all of us. So yeah.
I think leading an AIA space, like personally, is such a different experience from being on a committee, being a student rep, being a peer mentor, being a dorm leader, or anything else. What do you personally believe is something that people don't realize that comes with the title of being an AIA head, whether that be in adversity, the whole idea of this tight-knit family because you're leading that identity space? Like, what is something that people don't realize is something that we, I guess, as AIA heads go through that they might not in their own leadership position?
I think before I stepped into this role, or coming to CSW at all, I thought like these leader spaces, of course, were like to make these communities and make these people feel welcome, because you don't always get this opportunity. But at the same time, like from an outside perspective, I used to think that it was just for college, like people would just do it so they can show their faces a little bit more to these upper next level top tier schools that they want to go to. But taking this role upon myself, like as wanting to do it just for me, but also to have this experience, I think it's a very different level of, it's a lot more work than I expected, but I wouldn't say that it was like terrible and oh, it's been so much work and I feel tired and restless. I think it's just, I have to work harder than I expected, but it means like I can focus more, and I think it'll help me develop into a better person so that I can help other people grow. And if other people want to take on this role, I know how to like help them step into that.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy as people think it is. Like, I think people hear like AIA head and they're like, oh, this is easy. Like, I just got to put something together real quick. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I think we're working every single day, even when we don't want to. Fati?
I think that, like you were saying, I don't think that it's just like a one-day thing. It's like a thing where you have to spend, even outside of meetings, you're still a leader. People can still come up to you and ask you questions about your meeting, tell you stuff that they liked or maybe even didn't like about your meeting, and you have to take that into consideration into making your next meeting, or realizing all the things being informed about all the things going on in the world politically, all the things going on social media, in case you want to talk about that in your next meeting. So it's about being informed all the time, being open to having people come up to you and talk about your meetings, being open to accepting and hearing like anything they want to fix about the meeting, and then incorporating that into your meetings and planning those meetings. I think that it's a lot of work, and so yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, very time consuming.
It can be good for you, it can be healthy.
Yeah. It like gives you that equal balance, you know? I think one of the things that I've struggled with being an AIA head, and I think I've guided you through a bit, is helping the student body understand that just because someone is related to this identity space, they're larger than that. And I think there's been talk within AIA communities about respect towards AIA heads, and I just want to hear what you all think about that in terms of respecting identity spaces on campus and giving them that I guess decency of understanding that they have bigger things than just being a space. Like, what is your idea on that?
Well, I definitely think that like we're not a space that's particularly better than anyone, that we have this support group, but I think it's more of being able to support each other and take this role. And I think moving forward, we're able to support and provide for these people and be able to communicate with each other in a different way that you can't always do with everyone. And yeah.
Can you please repeat your question?
What do you like when you think of like the respect towards AIA spaces here and like the different adversities that we as AIA spaces face? Like, what is your idea and opinion on that?
I think that sometimes AIA spaces can be in the shadow. I think that we often have to make spaces for ourselves or create opportunities for ourselves, and the school tries to make it easier for us to have our spaces, and I really appreciate that because some schools don't have AIA spaces. But sometimes I wish that we had opportunities created by someone else to be in the light instead of having to like make all our meetings by ourselves and like
push for them and
just be it just being for us. I wish that it was more of like a community thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's something that's constantly in the works. I think whether we're going through rebranding like Men of Color did, now being Blame, or we're putting ourselves out there for the first time like you all have this year, I think it's like, it's something that, yeah, the support is nice, but like pushing us out there and having people realize, okay, like, respect these spaces, give them the same respect you want for your club or your committee, like giving them the light that they deserve because they're doing such an amazing thing for the community. I think that's something that our school definitely is still working towards and will make progress on as time goes on. But I think my next question for you is, being an AIA head, I think the journey is different. You look at it in a different perspective. And I just want to hear, like, specifically what, if not adult, what student has highlighted for you, whether that be a different AIA head, somebody in leadership period, that there are going to be adversities, but you get through them and you have this amazing support team behind you that gets you there. Like, who is that person for you?
Definitely Janila. She's one of my closest friends, but she's also another head of space for Idea Committee. And I think she plays a powerful role just in her daily life when it comes to like little problems, or it becomes a lot bigger than that. Or if I'm having a problem and I'm not sure if it's my fault or if it's on a different person, or there's something that comes along and I just can't do it by myself, I know she's there to support or give the advice that I need, especially as another woman of color on campus who comes to my space to support me as a leader and make sure everything's okay and that I'm doing okay. And I think that's been super supportive, especially because she's one of my closest friends.
I would say probably Trinity, Alicia, and Dana as well, because Dana has been like a pushing role like ever since I came here freshman year. BSU was the first space I attended, and she showed me how to be a leader. She constantly uses her time to help others. She uses all her weeks to plan the meetings, and she reaches out to us and asks us about like anything that we would like to see in the meeting, how to better the meeting. So I think you have definitely been like an impactful role in like coming to a leadership position myself. And Trinity and Alicia, just because when I first started co-heading the club with Cam, they came to all our meetings just because they wanted to support me. Even when they had busy schedules, they still made time for me. And even in this past month, with everything that's been going on, they've been there supporting me and like always been being an ear to talk to, telling me whether I was in the wrong or like whether I was in the right. And they've just been like really great supporters, because like I just don't think I would be like here where I am without having them.
Gets emotional talking about the seniors, doesn't it? Yeah, it's real hard. Maybe I should start providing tissues. I gotta think about that stuff. Yeah, just a little bit. I think that I've definitely seen you two grow. I think hearing you all tell me, like, I was so excited when you all told me, like, we're gonna lead Circle of Sisters. I was like, oh, this is a good thing. Like, we've got two young-minded people coming in and leading a space and rebranding it, finding us a new space, and it's just like, I think a lot of the meetings that I have at Circle of Sisters, like, even though I'm in a group, I'm like able to unwind and relax. And I think it takes two people that see the importance of everything going on politically or within our space to understand the value of that and seeing it in yourself. We've had guest speakers, we've had all these amazing things happen for Circle of Sisters this year. And I just want to know, in the future, what are your goals? Where do you want, whether that is you continue to lead the space after this year or you venture off into other leadership positions as a leader, because you'll always be a leader in the face of CSW. What are your goals for yourself as you continue to grow in a leadership position? You can take some time to think about it.
I would say for me, it's just become better for myself and kind of take that role as I saw other people had, like Taylor and like Gabby, the people who led Circle of Sisters before me. I think I want to like learn how to reach their level, but also achieve my own personal like reflections and like everything I've been working towards. I want to make sure I'm still able to achieve those with leadership on top of that, and like finding a balance between myself and like homework and sleep schedule especially.
Yeah, stop staying up till 1 a.m. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So But yes, sleep schedule. Still wake up on time for class.
Period.
Yep.
As you should.
Never been late.
Never been late.
And yeah, I think taking care of myself has been the most important thing that I want to work towards. But as a leader, I think I do want to continue working for this role because I think it's very important to have this space, and I want to learn how to make it better than it is before and carry on to different legacies. And bringing in alumni or guest speakers I think is extremely powerful, and I want to make sure to make it happen. So yeah.
I think going forward, I want to make sure people know that one mistake does not define our space, and just because you hear one incident from Circle of Sisters or whatever you hear from Circle of Sisters, we've had meetings since the beginning of the year, and we want to make an impact in this community, and we try our best, but sometimes that doesn't communicate the right way. So I just want to make sure that in the future we plan more carefully, and that we make sure that this is a space where people do feel comfortable coming, even if it's them wanting to say something or and they don't know if they can say it. I want to make sure that people know that this is a space where they can say what they want, have opinions, and also come here as individual leaders, because a lot of people in our spaces are leaders and they do a lot of stuff in the community, and I just want it to be a safe space for everyone. So yeah.
You are our first pair of co-heads that will be aired on my YouTube channel. So I want to ask a question. If you could describe your co-head in one word, what would it be and why? Please be kind to each other.
I don't know. Probably understanding.
Understanding.
I would say creative. Oh, only one word.
You can explain with multiple other words.
I would say that Kam is, she's creative in a way that she makes these meetings fun and interactive, and she really is the character of this whole I don't know
Those raps
affinity. She
Kam.
is the character.
Yeah.
She makes everything come alive, and I don't know if this space would be as much of a comfortable space if it weren't without her. If it weren't not for her, but yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna ask you one more question, but I'm just gonna say something. I think you all are truly a representation of not only being a woman of color, but being a Black or African American woman in a PWI setting, leading a space. And I think Circle of Sisters has expanded in a sense of where I think my first year it was just Black women and Hispanic women coming to the space, and now we have Asian women, we have a wide variety of people coming in who are a part of minority groups and celebrating their differences. And I think that is because of you all and the way that you all push to put people out there, whether that's talking to your teammates on the volleyball team, talking to your teammates on the track team, going to BSU and promoting it, putting people in that headspace where it's this is a space for you. And I think one thing, touching on what Fati said in the previous question about the idea of a space making a mistake, it is 100% okay to make a mistake. And it's about how you come back from that. And I think all 20 plus of us that attend that space know that mistakes happen, and it's about the journey after the mistake. And I think we all have your backs in the support of understanding that the space is so much more than one incident, and it's about how you resurface from that. To close us off, I am going to ask the question of, this is a leadership podcast, and there are so many leaders. Who is one leader that has inspired you and you think has a story to share on We Are Leadership?
Give me a second. Okay. I would say my roommate, Funny Lynn. I think she's already done an episode. But I think she plays a super strong leadership role, not just as a CSW leader on campus, but around a leader in her own life. I think she's battled through a lot of things I don't even know if I would get through. And I think that makes her strong just as a person in general, especially as a woman of color on campus too. And I think the things she's achieved also helps me push to be the person that I am today, to know that there's ways to move around things, and if there's incidents, I know we can get through it, and I know that her support is also there for me, and I think as a leader, she is super strong, and she is a leader on CSW campus too, so yeah.
Watch 21's episode. It's coming out soon. It'll be out before this one.
So guys.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say Adam. I feel like Adam has done a lot of things and continues to do a lot of things in this community. I feel like every other email I see is from Adam, and he's
No, literally. Literally.
promoting things from CSW, whether it's sports, A board, whatever it is. He's in the position and he's working hard constantly. I see him on his computer typing away, whether it's work or like what activities he has. And I think that he has a lot of really good things to say, and if you took time to hear him speak, you would understand that he has a lot of like experiences and he could give really good advice. So.
And
Never needs the mic. Never needs the mic.
No, never.
Never needs the mic.
Adding on to that, I would also say Adam too, but I would say he's taken leadership roles since freshman year, and he's grown into the person to be able to have multiple roles and still play a big part in our community as a freshman. Like, I swear he was a senior my freshman year. He's been grown, he's had these roles forever.
18 jobs on the outside.
18 jobs, always has a camera on hand. Like, and I respect that, and I respect that he's constantly working towards a goal, and yeah.
And just like, even if you don't know him, he's just like a person to respect, just because he's in such a big community.
And he's super supportive if you ever need to talk to him, so.
Oh, y'all gonna make me cry.
No, for real, I second that. Period. Just stay tuned. Maybe we have to do like an Adam only episode. I was gonna do him with like Rosa, but maybe he needs a 2-part series. You know. Do you have anything you want to plug? When does Circle of Sisters meet?
Next Thursday. Stay tuned. If you go to CSW, check your inbox. Please check your email.
Read them emails with them poems and raps. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
We're so hard on that.
Yes. All right, that is it for the 3rd episode of We Are Leadership, and I'm so excited to release this and put it out there. And if you ever want to contact them, they are CSW students. Just type in their first name, initial, last name, and their year, and you will find them, and you'll see them around campus. I want to thank you both for being here during your open block period and filming with me, and I hope that you all enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next time on We Are Leadership.